In this video, we tried empanadas, I had a hospital visit, and Shawn finally replaces his wedding ring, all in Cartagena, Colombia.
Okay, so we're waiting for our laundry right now, so we took a walk around the old town of Cartagena here. So we're actually walking up onto the rampart, and we actually have a really nice view of the Castillo right now. So we are going to be doing a walking tour of that a little later on in our trip here, but I'm just going to do a quick little spin here just to kind of show you the ramparts. You can actually see downtown Cartagena from here, and you'll be able to see some of the old construction and the revitalization that they're doing in the tourist district. So one thing we did find on these walls here, there's actual the old cannon emplacements. You can actually see them right here. The cannon would sit right here, and you have a view right out to the channel for any enemy ships to come in. You'll be able to pivot the cannon a little bit, that way you can adjust your aim. And another cool thing that we did find is an old guard station. So it is locked because they're obviously keeping people out, but this would be where your spotters are. Kind of cool.
We took a guided tour of the main fortress protecting Cartagena, Castillo San Felipe de Baraja. Construction of the fortress began in 1536. It was built on the hill of San Lazaro from the top down, consisting of 8 batteries of cannons totaling 68 guns, facing away from the city. The vertical cannons were used for hauling supplies from battery to battery and level to level. The fortress was designed by a Dutch architect for the Spanish crown during the colonial era. The fortress was designed to protect Cartagena from invasion due to its status as a large gold and slave trading hub for South America. In addition to the cannons and infantry on the surface, there were also numerous kilometers of tunnels below, designed especially for defense. Before coming to Cartagena, we had no idea it was so rich in history. The neighbor across the street from our Airbnb sold empanadas and papas rellenas right from their front porch. They were so good and dirt cheap, at $3.50 US for a meal for 2.
I just went
Next
into the
was a little
central
shopping.
commercial. It's like a mall in the middle of Gethsemane. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Sorry. Don't mean to offend any Colombians. But yeah, I actually was able to replace my wedding ring, and
Yeah.
Wendy picked up
I got one too.
an extra. So, wedding ring is now replaced since our Costa Rica trip, and I lost it in the river.
So I wound up in the ER for a kidney stone. Just to give an idea of how the medical system works, they take a $600 US deposit, and we were reimbursed the deposit minus the treatment and diagnosis costs, which was $125 US. Our next stop was the Historic Museum of Cartagena. The museum mainly focused on the Spanish Inquisition in the early 1600s. The Spanish Inquisition operated in Spain and all of her colonies for roughly 3 centuries. It was used to religiously prosecute heretics of the church through a judicial institution. An estimated 3,000 to 5,000 people were executed, and a further 150,000 people were prosecuted for various crimes. We took a stroll through the old quarter for a date night. We had dinner overlooking the main square on a rooftop restaurant. This is the place to be at night. Mascots for the kids, wedding receptions, horse and carriage rides, street food, and entertainment. Another sight to see is San Pedro Claver Church and Museum. The church was built between 1580 and 1654. The church's altar is San Pedro Claver's final resting place. The church has been kept up with restorations through the years and is still holding services today. San Pedro Claver came to Cartagena from Spain, finished his schooling and became a priest in Cartagena. He dedicated the rest of his life ministering to the incoming slaves, baptizing them on arrival in the boats, and visiting them on the plantations to check on their welfare. San Pedro Claver championed equal rights, preaching Christians should see the slaves as fellow Christians. For our next date night, we took a carriage ride through Cartagena, spotting a wedding along the way. She looked beautiful. We stopped for a juice at Plaza de Bolivar and capped the day off with dinner in a nice restaurant in the historic district.
Judging by those two pigeons, love is in the air. Love is definitely in the air.
As we leave Cartagena, we reflect on our warm beach days, the historic significance, and the 1980s Miami vibe of Cartagena. We had a good time here, and we do think it is an underrated destination. We are looking forward to a change of pace and scenery, with the next leg of our journey taking us to Machu Picchu and the old Incan capital of Cusco, Peru. See you next time, and please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons below.